Hi guys and welcome to the circus. So, a few weeks ago, Can You Say G from G Station posted a What's Winning video, and in that video includes winning Harry lists. There he showcased 3 lists, one of which is a pure Harry build and 2 are Harry decks with end of stage. That was really interesting to see because first of all, it topped and it's a pretty unique build. That really caught my interest, and as expected, I tried it out. At first, I really didn't get the grasp on how it played, and I still couldn't figure out how it topped, how it got to wins, and something like that. But eventually, after playtesting a lot and thinking about it, how can it really work with end of stage? I think I figured it out, how it topped and how it works, how this list works. And this is what this video is about. As you all know, the pure Harry build is a tempo type deck where it slowly builds up their stage layers and eventually making your Star Pop Dragon restrict sentinels, right? That's the basic concept of the pure Harry build. Today, we will be talking about the Harry with end of stage variant. I have already posted a CFA highlight video, which I used this variant of Harry. If you want to check it out, I'll leave it in the description for you guys to see. I'll also put the What's Winning video of Can You Say G in the description box. If you want to see that, go check him out. So, if you already saw the video, maybe you already have a grasp on how it plays. Right here, I'm going to explain how it went. So first, let's talk about the first grade 3 turns of the deck. As expected, on your first grade 3 turn, whether you go first or you go second, your Star Pop Dragon won't be able to use his third skill on your first grade 3 turn unless you check a lot of triggers, right? It's going to be the same on this variant of Harry when you go Axel 2, unless you change it up a bit. In my CFA highlight video, if you already saw what I did there, I used Axel 1. So my choice of Axel gift is Axel 1 because even if you only have 2 Magidals on board, your Star Pop Dragon is going to be a 30k body. It doesn't really matter if you check a trigger or not. If yes, that would be really amazing. If not, it's fine. You still have a 30k body and it's probably gonna burn more hand or otherwise provide more damage to him. That's all about Star Pop Dragon. Now, this list runs end of stage, right? What I think is the win condition of this deck is not about Harry. Mixing those 2 guard restricting units, which are Gun Salute and Star Pop Dragon. Imagine just being hit 3 to 4 times with units that has guard restricting abilities. That would be really devastating. So that's what I think is the win condition of this deck. The way to go is to go Axel 1 on your first grade 3 turn and then ride end of stage at the second grade 3 turn or later in the game, and then make a devastating turn using those 3 swings, 2 from your Vanguard and 1 from your Star Pop Dragon to finish the game. That is what I think is the win con or the finisher of the deck. We all know that going Axel 1 is a bit of a risk because we will lose a lot of value from the card draw. But what's the point of drawing when you just want to kill your opponent on your 4th turn? It can happen. You may want to go Axel 2, but it will take a lot of time to build up your Axel circles, and you might just lose before even getting to your finisher because you lack hand cards in this list. Sometimes, you don't even run Periton. You just run 4 Darkside Mirror Masters. One list ran 2 of each Magidal. One list ran 4 Darkside Mirror Masters and no Peritons. This means that that list didn't really rely on the Magidals and Harry. They just want Star Pop Dragon to go off. At least that's what I understood. Also, they run 4 Jacquelines. Jacqueline is a staple for Magidals, right? But in this list, what the players want to fetch is Lore Pigeon Pop. The main target of Jacqueline here is Lore Pigeon Pop. At least 2 copies of Lore Pigeon Pop. I'll explain why later. Also, one of those lists ran 8 draws. Why did they run 8 draws? They want to draw into their pieces, and these triggers are to compensate for the lack of Peritons on one list. Because I think that this variant is a lot more piece reliant than Harry. Okay, when I talked about having 2 Lore Pigeon Pops in hand, remember that we run Trapezist in this list. 2 of those lists ran 3 Trapezists. The purpose of Trapezist here is obviously because of Gun Salute, but that's not all. What I think is the most powerful combo here is a combo including 4 cards, which are Gun Salute as your Vanguard, 2 copies of Lore Pigeon Pop, and 1 Purple Trapezist. If you already watched my CFA highlight versus Victor, you will see how devastating that turn is. Let's go. I forgot the skill. Yo, flicking vanilla. Yo, you flicking bunny, you stupid bunny. Use your end of stage skill. You. I was too excited in this part. I'm sorry about this. If you can see what I would like to mention my board, as you can see, this board is devastating. With this hand size, he can maybe survive, but if not, you know, just maybe. I'm sorry about that. That's where Pigeon Pop get boost. Swing for 12, and then I swung with 12k there. He intercepted once. Okay, now we use our our Star Pop Dragon. As you can see here, we used we now have 4 Axel 1s, meaning our Star Pop Dragon will always go off. That's the power of Axel 1 in this build, and it really popped off. But it's not gonna be my final turn. If I don't kill him this turn, I'ma be dead because I don't have hand cards. That's the throwback of End of Stage. So we retire our Star Pop Dragon after that. We check, nothing, but we still give him 1 damage. Unfortunately, he checks a defensive right there, but we still have our End of Stage. Take note that we have Trapezist. We have Trapezist. So if we just get Trapezist right there, we proc our Star Pop Dragon skill. So we Soul Blast everything. I'm sorry about that, guys. I forgot that. Oh my god, I forgot to Soul Blast it. Like, what the flick? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But disregarding that, it doesn't really change the game say that much, unless he survives this. So we swing for 17k, and he goes for a 2 pass. We get the power. I'm hesitating here in giving it the power to End of Stage, but might as well just give it to to Lord Pigeon Pop. Our Lord Pigeon Pop is on 69k. And it does 5 damage. And look at this. He's at Lord Pigeon Pop, and we still have his skill. After the attack, CB1 bounce himself, call another Star Pop Dragon from the drop zone, get another Axel 1, and get another guard restricting attack. And he just gave up right there. Like, what the flick? Said GG, man. So that is what I think the best combo in this deck. If you have more combos that you think are more powerful than this, you can leave it down in the comments. I would really like to learn from you. But for now, let's consider this combo as the win con of the deck. Okay, so I would like now to mention the disadvantages of this. First of all, the best combo in the deck, which I spoke of earlier, requires a lot of pieces. As I explained, you need 4 cards in total, which are a Gun Salute, 2 copies of Lord Pigeon Pop, and a purple Trapezist. If you don't have those 4, you can't do your massive combo, but at the very least, you will still have 3 guard restricted attacks. Next, we only run 8 Magidals. This is quite of a disadvantage because you will have less chance to work with your Harry. But again, this is not the main purpose of this. This is just going to be like a first few grade 3 turns kind of thing, and you will most likely go for a game on your second grade 3 turn. And what I think is the most important disadvantage of this is it has lesser hand size. It is simply because of Gun Salute. Gun Salute doesn't really plus. It's always gonna be your finisher. Plus, you don't run Periton, but you run a Dross, which is fine. After you use your Gun Salute turn, your soul is not that good. Let's say, for example, your opponent survived that onslaught. It's really hard to recover from that risky play, at least in my experience. Okay, so those are all the information that I have right now for this variant of Harry. Now, what are my overall thoughts? Personally, I really enjoy this. This is possibly gonna be my favorite Harry deck because it's so unique. It's so interesting to play, and it's a high risk, high reward type of playstyle, which I really like. You know, influenced by Nightmare Dolls. How about you guys? What do you think about this variant of Harry? Do you like it? Did you happen to try it yourself? Do you dislike it? Leave your opinions in the comments. I would really like to know what you think about this because it's just really fun to talk about deck builds with other people. If you also have any questions, I will do my best on answering them. Just leave it down in the comments and hopefully I can get an answer for you. So yeah, if you found this video useful, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.